Do you think customers are rational, logical, and objective? Of course, many customers believe that they are making rational and reasonable purchases, but in many cases, they actually make decisions on the spur of the moment. For example, you might be absent-mindedly flipping through TV channels, come across a home shopping program, and before you know it, you're watching it without thinking. Then suddenly you realize, right, I needed that, and find yourself pressing the order button almost unconsciously. Sales professionals who are good at what they do are incredibly skilled at making sure that whether or not the customer actually makes a purchase, their product or service is firmly imprinted in the customer's mind, and eventually they make it into something the customer feels they need. They instill a sense of certainty about the purchase. In other words, before you know it, they practically hypnotize the customer. Let me give you an example. Employee A says, "Sir, ma'am, these are handmade cookies, 501 each." That's what one employee says. Employee B says, "Sir, ma'am, these are handmade cookies, 2 for 1,001 or 501 each. It's a really great deal for you." Which employee do you think had a higher sales rate? It was the non-employee. The information that it's 1,001 and that it's being offered at a really great price increased customers' willingness to buy. In the end, top-performing sales professionals who actually close sales are very skilled at using this kind of hypnotic language. First of all, in sales, hypnotic language refers to making the customer think positively about what we are aiming for or the result we want to achieve. In the end, it means language patterns that help instill purchase confidence. When I conduct sales communication training, I introduce these hypnotic language patterns and provide training on how to incorporate them into our industry's messaging. Just by following this alone, you'll be able to apply a wide variety of hypnotic language techniques in your sales activities. Let me introduce 6 representative patterns of hypnotic language. First, the strengths and benefits of the product and positive questions. After explaining the product by highlighting its strengths and benefits, you can say, "This is a pretty good offer, isn't it? It's special, it's nice, right?" This is a pattern that increases the desire to buy by using positive questions that lead the customer to say yes. "Dear customer, this product has excellent breathability, so sweat dries quickly. That's really great, isn't it? Dear customer, since it is your special day, I think it will be an even more special gift if you choose a custom-made product just for you. Wouldn't that make you feel really good?" Second, rather than saying you must do something, I won't tell you that you have to do it. Above all else, it's about what's most important. For example, instead of telling you that you have to buy the discounted product during this event, your decision is what truly matters. I'm also not going to tell you to upgrade to a higher option just because you're already making a decision. Above all, you should choose what you actually need. This language pattern gives off the nuance that you might regret it if you don't make a choice. Third, after making an additional selection, how can I assist you further? This is a pattern where you explain the benefits after suggesting an upsell or cross-sell. Would you like to add B along with A to receive a double discount? How can I assist you with that? Would you like to choose B together with A, which goes well together to get a booster effect? How can I help you with that? The fourth is making a good suggestion while saying, "It's okay if you don't do such and such." It's perfectly fine if you don't choose the additional options for the premium specifications. What's important is that you select what you need. It's okay if you don't purchase the perfectly matched set. Wearing it on its own is more than enough. These kinds of phrases are hypnotic language patterns that make people feel like they have to make a choice, even if they turn down a better offer. Now, the fifth one, what would you do if you could do such and such? This is a very good question for uncovering the customer's hidden desires. Additionally, it's an excellent sales hypnotic language pattern that allows customers to reflect on their own needs. "Sir, ma'am, if you could choose additional options without any conditions, what would you include? Sir, ma'am, if you could select a better insurance product under the same conditions, what aspects would you focus on? Sir, ma'am, if you could receive an additional discount, which other product would you choose?" This is the 6th point. Some customers have done such and such. It may sound like a story about someone else, but when you hear it, you can't help but compare it to your own situation. This is a hypnotic language pattern. Several customers said they missed out on certain aspects and made their choices only to regret it later. Some customers who make rational purchases tend to avoid choosing products with low utility. So I've introduced 6 representative hypnotic language patterns. Do we really have to go this far? People seem to buy just fine even without all this. That's what you might be thinking. Customers who would buy anyway would have made the purchase even if it wasn't with you or at our branch. In other words, do you think sales that don't require you specifically can really be competitive? Of course, it's not that you absolutely have to sell this way, but our product is really great. It's the best. Rather than having customers make a purchase just because you directly tell them, do this, it's better to help them make their own choice so that during the process they feel, I'm really glad I bought this. This is exactly what I needed. Sales that give customers this kind of confidence in their purchase are what stay in their memory longer, make them want to come back, and turn them into loyal customers who want to recommend you to others. Don't you think? With that in mind, I've introduced you to sales hypnotic language that captures the hearts of customers. This has been Instructor Park passionately cheering on your growth and success. Be happy.